guys, welcome back to my 90-day challenge. I am excited to start this because we're actually going to do an interesting phone call this morning. I'm just going to dive right into it. This is a situation in Georgia. It's a foreclosure situation. I think that the sale of the property is on Tuesday of this coming week. So we got to figure something out pretty quickly. There's an agent involved, so hopefully this provides some value. We'll kind of see how this goes. I'm curious what the agent's response to my question is going to be, and hopefully you guys get some feedback, or at least you guys get some value out of it. Sorry, I brain farted there for a second. Let's call this agent.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Larry, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I know that I'm kind of hopping into this a little bit late to the party potentially, but Irvin told me a little bit about what was going on here. Can you kind of explain what the situation is? It sounds like there's just a tough situation to solve right now, right?
Yeah, well, I think if we get everything done by Monday, it should be fine. It's just a matter of that happening. But yeah, the situation is that the current seller, she's in, the house is set to be foreclosed on March 5th, right, which is next Tuesday. And I sent Irvin what she owes and stuff. And so from my understanding, yeah, if we get all caught up and everything, it shouldn't be an issue now. But basically, she kind of kicked the can down the road, and she, basically has asked for requests and extensions already. So she's kind of maxed out on extension requests, if you will.
Okay.
And so it's going to foreclose on March 5th. What they said is when I got it listed, when all this happened when I was looking into if it was even worth listing it, the bank told me, they were like, oh, if y'all get an offer, we'd have to review it, all the stuff. But yeah, she can't pay what she owes, so that's the reason for the foreclosure. And from my understanding, and from my seller's understanding, if everything gets paid up with past due and with owed and stuff, then that should be fine. So I think it's doable. It's just a matter of if we have enough time to do it and have the lawyers write up my brokerage told me that, Wise and lawyers we work with, or someone would have to write up a subject to, clause, addendum, whatever it is. And it's just all this would have to happen by Monday, since the foreclosure is set for Tuesday. So I think it's a possibility. I just don't know how long finalizing all that takes, and money being wired and different things of that nature. But yeah, that's the situation. I think it's doable if we were to get everything done by Monday. That should put them. I don't know if he shared with you the screenshots. I sent him everything my seller had. I don't know if he showed those to you or not.
Yeah, I have them right here. I'm looking at them.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's how I read that as well, and that's what the seller understands as well about the situation. So.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right here. I'm looking at the original promissory note, and then I'm also looking at. Let's see. This is also the original promissory note, but it's the closing disclosure. Okay, so it's
I just sent him everything I had.
Yeah.
Everything that seller sent me.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So tell me about your history with this listing. How long has it been on the market? How'd you get this one?
So the history on this is it was an online lead. So I got it. Let's see. I could tell you exactly when I got it, but there was not much time when I got it. Signed on there's an online lead. So my company is an online lead platform, right? And I got assigned on 2/24, on February 24th, and she explained the situation to me. But it's not like she signed right away. She was talking with other agents. She was talking about getting OfferPad involved, and all this other stuff. So, and she eventually decided to go with me. So I listed as soon as I could, with 7 days or something to get it sold. So that's the situation with this. And I've talked to her bank, and I've talked to the attorney and all this other stuff regarding this situation as well. But yeah, it's very new. Like I said, I basically had a 7-day heads up.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So 7 days. Okay. So I'm trying to just wrap my head around this a little bit. So was she completely upfront when she was talking to you about her situation? Was she saying that, look, I'm in foreclosure. They're going to sell my house in 2 weeks?
Yeah. She's been honest through this whole thing, and we've developed some sort of. She trusts me. I trust her as much as I can trust an online lead, because she talked with a few different agents, a few different investors and people, and like I said, everything that I talked with her about, the bank and the closing attorney kind of verified, although they didn't give me that much more information. But the one thing they did say that, when I first started this, I was like, hey, what are options for selling this? And they're like, if you get it under contract before the date and everything looks good, blah, 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 and that's great. And they made it clear that they weren't going to accept a short sale. They were like, if this was 6 months ago, then, maybe that would have been an option. But they're like, the bank is going to get paid what the bank is owed, and that's the only kind of, that's the only path forward.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so
made it clear.
Go ahead, Larry, sorry.
No, I'm just saying they made it clear that a short sale was an option.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we run into these situations all the time. It's really interesting whenever we're dealing with people in foreclosure, and I don't know if you have a lot of experience, if this is your first one, but what we found is that generally people who are in foreclosure, they're given a lot of time, by the bank to cure the issue. And we found that it's sort of like the stages of grief. It's like denial, 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 and then a week before,
right.
2 weeks before, let's fix the issue. And
right.
And so it kind of sounds like that's where we're at. So in situations like this that we have been involved with before, basically what we've done is just get the property under contract, show that to the bank that there is going to be a sale, and then they're able to push off the closing. There are a few other things that are involved for sure, but generally that pushes things off initially. So, I guess, so my question here, and I'll just be completely transparent with you on this, and feel free to be completely transparent with me. The only way that we can make this work is if we just come in and we are able to cure her arrears, and that's around $23,000, right?
Yes. Let me pull up past due amount $17,000, March 1st payment $2,500. Yeah, $23,500 ish. Yeah.
And does that include all of the fees and costs and all of that sort of thing?
What's that?
Does that include all of the attorney's fees and the cost for the payoff? And is that all inclusive, the $23,000?
I'm operating. I always do, but I'm operating in full transparency here. I have the same screenshot that y'all have. I had a couple conversations with them when we first started with this, with the attorney and the lender, but I didn't get that much more information from it. But yeah, so that's what I'm seeing on here. I see the attorney's fees on here, so I do think that is everything that's out there. I believe that's correct.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think
otherwise.
I think that we're looking at two separate things. So forgive me, I don't have that paper in front of me. But I do just want to clarify exactly how much would be due on Tuesday, for example, to cure the issue. And it sounds like it's 23.5 or so.
Yeah, 23, just under 23.5. It says, do you not have the screenshot that says reinstatement below is good to March 5th, 2024, and next payment will be due on April 1st, 2024. Past due amount, March. Do you have this? I can send it to you.
You know what? I did just find it. So reinstatement below is good to March 5th, 2024. Total reinstatement, 23,476. I got that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's exactly what I was looking for. So, yeah, the only way that this makes sense for us is for us to come in and pay off the 23,476 plus the closing costs. There's not a personally, and again, I'm throwing this out there to let you figure out what you want to do, but there's not a whole lot of room for us to pay an agent in this situation. And so, would you be willing to bring down your commission at all to help make this deal work for her?
Okay, so when I first talked with Irvin, we kind of talked through that extensively, and he didn't think that would be an issue, or the numbers just different, or than when we first talked. This is just the first time I'm hearing this, because all my discussions with Irvin was like, oh yeah, we can pay off what she owes, we put some money in her pocket, get you your full commission, and because it would only be, it'd be 3%, it wouldn't be, 6%, since there's not, anything on the buyer side. But did something change, I guess, is what I'm curious about.
I don't think anything changed. I think that I've just stepped in to take a look at this and done the underwriting. So I'll tell you, the way that we take a look at these is that for the way that we purchase these, and in the most likely situation, by the way, is that if we do get this under contract, the most likely situation is that we bring on a local partner who is going to purchase the home from us. And so in that situation, if we're coming to the table with 23.5, closing costs for this in total are probably going to be somewhere around 5,000 or so. So that brings us up to 28.5 or so. And then we'll generally want to keep our cost to acquire right around 8-9%. Or so. That's kind of the way that we function. We can still pay you a little bit. I just don't think that we can pay you the full 3%. And so that's just kind of where we're coming from. So I don't know what kind of flexibility you have at all, but I'm throwing it out there as a possibility. We could get this done. We just need to keep our costs lower on this one, just because of the risk that's involved with the foreclosure.
Okay, but y'all do these all the time, right? Y'all are used to kind of this process and what it looks like from what it sounds like.
Yeah, this is something that we come across a lot, unfortunately.
Go on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we come across these situations a lot with people who are in foreclosure.
Right, yeah. So I know there's always risk, but you'll kind of have this figured out by now, right, in terms of the steps and what you'll have to do. I can probably go down to 2.5%. I mean, I would need to talk to my brokerage as well than the lead they gave me. And then keep in mind, I owe it's either 35. This is a new lead platform. I think it's 35, maybe 40, but I think it's 35. I owe 35% of my commission to 35% of that off the top goes to the lead platform that connected us. And then, I have my brokerage gets some and my team, I have a split with my team and stuff. So, yeah, I'm trying to help her at this point. So I'm not really going to be making much money off this, as is. So I'd like to, obviously keep that as high as it is, because I have put some money with this and, paid people to use photos and paid people to put lock boxes out there and stuff.
What kind of cost do you have right now, Larry? What's your cost right now that you're into it with?
That I'm into the house with.
Yeah, so you paid a photographer, you've paid someone to go put a lockbox, those sorts of things. Yeah. What have you paid so far? Because obviously I want to make sure that you're compensated to at least cover that. I'm trying to figure out, what would make sense for everyone involved here. And, ideally save this woman from not be able to purchase a home for the next 7 years.
Yeah, I understand that. Let me ask you this: what you already have worked out the numbers? You'll have the numbers. 3% doesn't work. You're saying that definitively. You're saying it might not work. Can you just tell me where y'all are at with that?
Yeah, I'm saying definitively 3% doesn't work. 2.5% doesn't work. 1% may not work. This is a situation where the cost to acquire has become so high because of the arrears and because we're paying the closing costs, right? In fact, in a situation like this where if she's 23,500 behind, the way that I would structure this naturally is, okay, we'll come in, we can take care of the arrears. We can pay you a referral fee or whatever the commission is that we agree to, whatever makes sense for both parties, and pay the closing costs. We won't be able to give her any cash just because there's nothing left over. So, we're in a situation where the way that we're going to acquire something like this, it's becoming very expensive because of the arrears. And then if you add another 3% on top of that, that's another, $10,500.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it becomes completely untenable, unfortunately, from our standpoint. Now, I don't know have you explored any other options at all with anyone else locally?
Yeah, and there's some people looking at it this weekend. Some normal agents, people looking with buyers looking to sell it or looking to buy it. Just your typical buying a property for I don't know, maybe it's a primary, maybe it's for investment, but we have some showings today and tomorrow on it. So again, I know we're cutting it close here with this Monday day and having to have everything done by then, but I don't have any, hard offers in hand, but I've talked to agents who are going to be showing it this weekend and explain the situation that, they would need to bring that offer, by Sunday. So
ASAP.
Accept it by Monday and get that passed along to the bank and everything.
Well, tell me, Larry, where would you feel, so tell me what's the least you would want to receive for commission on this to make this work for her?
I mean, I never really go below 2.5. I do 2.5 for friends and family and stuff. Give me a second. I'm looking at, so that that's my, I'm never, obviously I've gone to listing appointments and people have tried to, ask how low I can go, and I explain to them the work that I do and the value I bring, all this other stuff, and calling other agents and reverse prospecting and all this stuff. So I've listed properties for 2.5 before. But I'm looking at this offer right now that he sent on these Texas forms, which we're not used to seeing. We normally use car forms for everything. But I believe in the offer there was verbiage of buying it and then putting $2,000 in her pocket. And from, like I said, from what Irvin told me, he made it sound like the 3% wouldn't be an issue. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'd like to see what happens, through the weekend and stuff. But with that being said, if y'all want to send an updated offer with what y'all can do, with what we can do with this, so y'all are basically wholesaling this.
We would probably wholesale this. We'd assign this probably to someone who is local on the ground, a partner of ours locally. We're here in Texas. This isn't something that we're going to necessarily keep long term, but our partner on the ground over there in Georgia will.
Right. So the less commission you pay me, the more y'all get to clear on the B2C.
No, because
I get that.
No, honestly, in this situation, there's not even room for a wholesale fee, honestly, in this situation, because the way that our business works, and what I mean by our business is people who are doing these kind of subject to transactions, is that we always kind of take a look at what the interest rate is on the property. If there is an equity position, obviously there's not one in this situation. and then what the cost to acquire is. And anyone who's looking at this would be probably considered a borderline. It'd be, if we're looking at a spectrum of interest rates that we acquire at right now, it's usually between 2.5% and 5.5%. That's kind of the spectrum. And so this rate's probably like middle towards the higher end of the spectrum. And so
right.
there aren't a whole lot of people out there who are, chomping at the bit to get a, what is this, 4 5/8 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was what, 4.6, 4.625 or something, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a great deal in terms of someone acquiring it with an interest rate at that price point. However, it really depends on the entry fee, right? If I was coming in and having to pay $12,000 for this with closing costs, then that's a freaking killer deal, right? Just because my cash on cash return is going to be much better than it would be if I were to come in with $40,000. So I'm telling you that just to help you understand kind of how this whole model works. The idea is that we might make $3,000 or something off this, and if you wanted to make the same thing, I'm sure we could make something like that work. But or what we could even do is, and I don't know if you could even do this. We've done this before, where we'll simply split the assignment fee with our agent who brought us this opportunity. So I know that that's a little bit tricky on your brokerage's end, but we've done that before as well.
Yeah. My brokerage is going to want to keep it with like a commission amount just to not muddy the waters, or, with it already being foreclosure and other factors, like you said, higher risk to begin with. They don't want to, they're not going to want to dabble with that.
Sure.
So we would like to keep it as a commission, percentage amount. But would y'all be able to just like send me an offer with the terms for as strong as what y'all can do, and then we'll see what happens through the weekend, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. Okay, I'll send that over to you the next couple hours.
Okay, yeah. So, like I said, normally I don't go below 2.5%. I might be able to do 2%. If we can, but if I think we would need just something. I told Irving this as well when he sent it over. I was like, hey, yeah, just include a stipulation saying, all parties agree that the buyer will pay, Lantern Real Estate Group, 2.5%, whatever it is, 2% of the purchase price, because that wasn't in the original contract. So that's one thing that I told him, because part of the reason for the the price of that and everything is to make sure that is all handled. So we're going to be offering, I told my client straight up, we have it in our listing agreement, it's 3 and 3, right? 3 for the selling, 3 for the listing agent, myself, and 3 for the buying agent. So there'll be a few of those showing it this weekend. Hopefully we get some action on that. But I told them, I was like, hey, I'll go down, to 2.5% if we get a price that's too low, and to make it happen and to make all the money work out and stuff. So, because she was looking at Open Door and all these other places that charge her like 8 or 9% fees, which I had to explain to her how that works. But yeah, just send that to me with what you can with that stipulation, and let me. I don't know if y'all have access to GAR forms. If y'all have someone here that y'all can write on a GAR form on, or what the deal is with that.
What I'll do is I'll send you over terms on our contract. I don't have a GAR form. I'm not an agent in Georgia, so what we can just use is that as a framework for eventually putting it on a GAR form if we choose to move forward on something like this.
Okay, yeah, that'd be. Send me the terms, and then.
Let me ask you a stupid question, Larry. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask you a really stupid question. If she has, so this is a no equity situation, but if she were to have to pay 6% commission from, a conventional type of sale, where's that money coming from? Does she have that $20,000 available to her?
Say that again.
Oh, one sec. Let me. if you were to sell it to another agent or with another agent involved on the buy side, and there's no equity in this house whatsoever, right? And she owes $23,500. Where's that money coming from to pay you your commission and the other agent's commission as well? If you guys sell at 350, 6% is what, $21,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where's that money coming from? And if she has $21,000, why wouldn't she be able to come up with another $2,500 just to make this loan current?
Well, it's listed for $395 right now.
Uh-huh. Okay. So that's kind of her break even, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she knows she's not gonna be, she figured that she's not gonna be, walking away with a chunk of change from that. She's realistic enough to realize that.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just do the quick math here. So 395 minus, call it 24, just for simple math, we're down to 371. And then, but off of the 395, we still have to pay 6%. That's another $24,000. So we're at like 347, somewhere around there, right? High 340s. So, she's still underwater, right? Because she currently owes what, 350?
Yeah, something like that.
And that doesn't even include her side of the closing costs.
Yeah, and I've had conversations with some of the agents about the situation of, she's not going to pay any closing costs. We wouldn't be accepting the offers that have her pay closing costs, but yeah, I've had conversations with agents about the situation and letting them know, hey, we're going to have to do what we can to make this work if it works out. So at least some of the agents, two of them who are seeing it already know that, and I've kind of talked to them about that. But if y'all could send the terms and what y'all are looking at, and we could, get it on the car form or whatever, I'd like to be able to do that. Obviously, I'd like to, to give the commission that you can, hopefully. Hopefully, it's somewhat significant. I'd like it to be above 2% if possible.
It won't be, Larry. It's not going to be above 2%. It may not even be above 1%, honestly. So, and I'm not trying to play hardball. I'm just saying that, here's the thing is that there's just not any money left in this deal at all. Mm-hmm. And in a situation like this where someone like us is coming in who knows how to cure the situation and who's coming in with money, what we're doing is we're really providing the value in the situation, right? In fact, I think that Irvin reached out to you directly, not the other way around. And so, I don't know how you feel about taking a lesser commission. However, the way that we're really looking at it here, and again, I hate having these conversations because I do think that people deserve compensation for the value that they provide. And, in a situation like this, do I think that 2% or 2.5% or even 3% is reasonable? I probably don't, especially if we can save this woman from going through foreclosure. So that's kind of where we're coming from on this.
I understand. Well, yeah, send me the terms that you think you can do. Send me the best that y'all think y'all can do, and yeah, I'd like to help her out and not have her get screwed over either, obviously. But I know everyone's gotta kind of get their cut on it, especially the wholesaling situation that adds a little bit of a layer there as well. But yeah, if you want to send me the terms, I would be able to get this under contract. That's the best way for us to move forward and go from there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send that over to you the next couple hours. And as I mentioned, if anything pops up between now and maybe tomorrow, feel free to give me a call. I'm available. And let's stay in contact.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Larry.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, so what do you guys think? That's a really really interesting situation. So here's the way that I look at these kinds of things. The agent took the listing 2 weeks before the sale date. So I think he said February 24th. There's a March 5th sale date. So 2 weeks before the listing, the seller, or 2 weeks before the sale, the seller reaches out to the agent and says, "Hey, help me sell this property." Now, a 6% commission is going to put her way underwater, unfortunately. Even at $395, and $395 is a higher number. I haven't even taken a look at the listing history to see. Well, obviously, there's not a whole lot of listing history in this situation because it's brand new. But has she tried to sell it before at maybe even a lower price? And then if it was listed, why didn't it sell? Probably price related, right? So I think that this is a last ditch effort. This is the Hail Mary, trying to figure out, can something like this work for her? Can she somehow get out of this? Okay, so that's her side. Now the agent on the other side, I'm not a residential agent. I don't know the politics in the office. I don't know how that all works internally. As an investor, the way that I'm looking at this, and this isn't a huge deal for us either. If we were able to get this under contract, if we were able to bring a partner on, we might make a couple $1,000. This is not a home run by any means. But the home run here is saving her from foreclosure, right? And so as an agent, if I'm telling you, would you rather make $10,000 and save the seller from foreclosure? Let me back that up. If you were to make $1,000, for example, and save your seller from foreclosure and all of the issues that are related to having to go through foreclosure previously, buying a home in the future is going to be difficult. It's going to ruin credit, all of these sorts of things, right? So if you were able to still make a little bit of money and save your client from going through foreclosure, I would look at that personally as a major, major win. Secondly, let's say that he's asking for 2.5%. So 2.5% in this situation is going to be $7,500 approximately. Now, we called him. We didn't know that the property was in foreclosure. We learned that in the conversation. We're coming in with a solution. He has no clue what to do with this. If he were at the end of the day, when March 5th hits, for example, if that property were to go into foreclosure, he makes nothing, right? And so we're coming in saying, look, here's a possible solution for you. You still get to make some money. She saves her credit. In my mind, it's a win-win, right? For both the agent and for the seller. I don't know if he looks at it the same way because he's going, well, shoot, the most that I would do is 2.5%. I want to maximize my return on this. Realistically, how much has he spent on this, right? And then if he has spent money on this, why did he spend money on this? If he bought photos, let's say he spent $500 on photos and he had someone put a lockbox on, maybe another $100, right? The lockbox plus the time. So he's into it for $600. Okay, that's his cost. As an agent, knowing that there's a sale in 2 weeks, would I take that on and invest money into that deal? I probably wouldn't, right? I would try to call someone like me or someone else in our community to see if we can help. But in this situation, he doesn't have a solution, right? We have a solution. So who's really providing the value? Is it the agent or is it the investor who's providing value? And like I told him on the phone, I'm all for paying people based on the value that they provide. It's not even the time worked, right? It's the value that they provide, and they should be paid commensurate with that value that they provide. So in this situation, I feel like he's not providing a whole lot of value. We reached out to him. We are providing a solution. He is saving his seller from foreclosure. So anyway, he's saving his seller from foreclosure. I don't know. I could be thinking about this wrong. Put in the comments what you guys think about this. I honestly think that saving a seller from foreclosure, saving their credit, giving them an opportunity to be able to do something in the future, at least a shorter term future, is better than them having to go through foreclosure and me not making any money at all. In fact, losing money, right? So I'm curious what you guys think about this. It's a little bit of a different perspective, right? And I'm not in the business of negotiating agents down off their commission. I feel like agents deserve something. Do I think that 3%, for example, is too much? Sometimes. I've talked about that before. But I definitely think it's too much in this situation. And so what I'm going to do is just send him an agreement that maybe gives him 1% max, maybe in 0.5%. Or less, actually, now that I think about it. 0.5% would be $1,700, $500, or $1,750, excuse me. It should be a little bit more. But yeah, so I don't know. It frustrates me because I feel like the way that I run my business is one where I care about the people that I'm working with, and I do put them ahead of me. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I always put my sellers, my agents ahead of me. In this situation, you can disagree, I guess, right? Because I'm negotiating the agent's commission off of this. And like I said, I'm not making a ton of money on this deal. So I feel like the business that I want to run is one that's ethical and moral and treats people well and gives them what they deserve to receive. And at the same time, I'm going to be firm with people and say, look, I don't feel like this is deserved. I don't feel like the seller deserves to walk away with cash if I've already paid her effectively $23,500. What I'm doing is I'm coming in, I'm saving her from foreclosure. With regard to the agent, if I'm paying the agent even $1,750, but they get that money's guaranteed, instead of the property going to foreclosure and him receiving zero, but actually losing money because of the money that he's invested, for me, I think that's a win. And the reason for that, again, is because is he providing value? Maybe in the eyes of the seller, right? Maybe a little bit. He's talking with us. However, who's really providing the solution, right? That's the idea. Who's providing the solution? Who's providing the value to save the seller? I think I've ranted for 7-8 minutes. I apologize. But anyway, I think that that's an important thing to listen to. I want you guys to listen to that over again. If it helps you, I think that I want to listen to that again and see what I can improve on. I'm kind of fiery right now. I'm in the moment of this, so I'm not going to think about how I can improve on that call, but I know that I can. So anyway, let's get into some other deals. Okay, so let's call a lot of new leads today. A lot of new stuff came in. And let's call it. Man, we're into it for like 40 minutes already with one call and one mic rant. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to try to find the listing agent here. It went into my system as the company and not the agent. Oops. So yeah, tell me what I could have done differently down below. Tell me what I maybe missed. Who's the listing agent here? Excuse me. What do you guys think of my new LED lights? I spent probably 3 hours on those things last night, and they don't even work. Well, they kind of work. Not really. Green's the only color that I can do.
Hello, you. This is Wilma.
That's Mike. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm calling you about your list on.
Yes.
Are you having an
What
open
can
house
I
today, by the way?
help you with? Am I what?
Are you having an open house, by the way, today?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. What time?
From 1 to 3.
Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, I came across this morning. I'm looking for a new rental in the area. I'm a buyer myself, not an agent. And so I'm just kind of curious to learn a little bit more about the neighborhood, see if I can even use this as a rental.
You know, I'm not sure. I would have to ask the seller. I don't know if they have any restrictions on how long you have to live there before you can use it as a rental. But I can definitely ask her and give you a call back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be really helpful. I can also look it up on my end. Do you know if there is an HOA by chance?
There is an HOA.
Okay.
It is the Wellington HOA, and it's through First Service Residential.
Oh, that's who mine's through also. Okay. All right. Easy enough.
Now, I know she did say that there are rentals in the neighborhood, but I don't, like I said, I don't know if there are any restrictions. You know, some HOAs you have to live there for 12 months before you can use it for a rental or something like that.
Right. Or they have density things. You know, you can't have too many rentals on a property.
Can't have more than so many. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, cool. And I know that you guys are brand new on market. I haven't seen it in person, obviously. What kind of feedback have you guys gotten on the property?
We've had good feedback. It's a great little house. It's in good shape. It's only 4 years old, so she hasn't had any issues with it. She loved it. She just got transferred to Florida, which is why she's leaving.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, cool. If I typically will purchase with cash for my rentals. And so if I purchase with cash, is there any flexibility at all in the pricing?
She's pretty firm on the pricing. I mean, everything's negotiable, but she's pretty firm on the pricing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, why don't I do this? I'm going to see if I can come up and see the property in person. I live in Austin, and I could use a little bit of a road trip. So I'll try to come up and see the property. And if I don't, then I'll give you a call and probably just submit an offer to see if we can kind of continue a conversation on this. I know that you guys are super early in the listing, so we'll kind of see where it goes.
That sounds good.
All right.
Let me know if you have any other questions. Okay.
I do have another question actually while you're on the phone. Do you have anything else for me to take a look at that isn't this property? Anything else that might be a good rental opportunity for me?
I don't right now. I mean, I can always pull a search and see if there's anything. But if you want something in that kind of area, I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Yeah, I like anything new, like this, and I like this because there's not going to be a whole lot of mechanical issues that I run into. And
yeah.
So yeah, if you come across anything, let me know. Okay.
Okay. That's fine, and I'll save your number, and then I will ask her about if she knows what the details on the rental, but you may be able to look it up online as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. So no reason to do extra work that I can do on my own.
Okay.
Thank you, Wilma.
Thank you. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. This is I think it's listed at 430. The equity spread on this is 26,000 or so after closing costs and commissions. It's a big equity spread. Typically at this price point, the most that I would give cash to sellers around 12.5, 15,000 bucks. That's max, max, max. I've never paid more than that. So at 25,000 bucks, I was kind of put off a little bit by that. I may just continue a conversation with her. This is one where, as I've said before in my previous videos, this could be just a follow-up, right? Maybe it makes sense to submit a cash offer now, let them say no, and then just stay in front of them. So this is probably a long-term follow-up. So what I like to do in my notes is just say, look, expect long-term follow-up, submit cash offer. They're pretty tight on their pricing. And then that will at least allow me the opportunity to follow up with her on a weekly basis or every other week basis. So anyway, that's kind of where they're at on this. Someone posted yesterday on the live, and I think it's a really interesting observation that I'm making as I'm doing more of these sorts of things. It's sort of like I'm not naturally a vain person in any way. I wear sweats around the house, and when I was younger, I was never trying to impress anyone with my appearance. And I found myself critiquing my hair in my videos, or what I wear, or how I generally look, or even the phone calls, right? I'm putting myself out there for criticism, and that's the idea of all of this. And someone posted yesterday a comment saying something like, I love how vulnerable you are in your videos. And I think it was 100% compliment. 100%, no question about it. My mind, now that I'm doing this thing, it's like the brain that wants more likes and hearts and all that sort of thing. My brain goes, oh, shoot. Did that person say that because I made a terrible phone call publicly and I'm willing to put myself out there that way? It's a really, really weird observation. So that's me being a little bit more open and vulnerable, and it's a little intimidating, I'll be honest. But that's okay. This is fun. What I've learned is that I've improved on every single phone call since I've started this. And, it's not always a straight line. Sometimes you backtrack a little bit. But I've definitely improved.
Hello, you've reached Tom. I'm sorry to have missed your call, but if...
Thank you for calling the Rutherford Group, Keller Williams. For the agent on duty, press 1. If you'd like to sell your home, press 2. For our transaction coordinator. Thank you for calling the. How may I help you?
Hi, is this Amber?
No, this is Kayla. How may I help you?
Hey, Kayla, I'm looking for Amber. I'm calling about a new listing that she put on the market.
Okay, yeah, what listing is that?
The one on, is it?
Okay, let me see what one that is. So Amber is our team leader. She's not actually the listing agent on our listings, but let me see. Amber list. What city is that one in?
Apollo Beach.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just look that up and see who the right contact is for you,
Sure.
okay?
Yeah. I think that if I were a new listing agent working for a team like this, I'd want my name on it.
Say that again?
No, I was just kind of thinking out loud. I wonder if I'd want my name on this listing if I were a new listing agent instead of Amber's, but just kind of thinking out loud.
Well, yeah, she's our team owner, so her name is just on all of our contracts and all of the signage and everything. That's just kind of how our team functions.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Let me just see here. I'm logging into the MLS because, our team is comprised of buyer's agents and a couple of listing agents. So I just want to make sure I'm getting you the right person. It's either Jared or Brooke. Is there a listing agent number 2 listed on the MLS that you see? I'm just logging in real quick.
So I'm looking actually on Redfin. I'm not an agent, so I don't have access to the MLS. Could it be Dondra?
Yes. So are you an agent?
No, I'm a buyer.
Oh, you're a buyer. Oh, okay. It would be Dondra. So wait, how are you seeing that then?
On Redfin.
Oh, on Redfin. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Does it have a cell phone I can call by chance?
Yeah, so let me just confirm that information with you.
Sure.
Just 1 second. Okay, yes, that is. So it's a 727 number. Is that what you see?
There is no phone number on here for her.
Okay, 1 second then. My apologies. Are you ready? Can you write it down?
I'm ready, yep.
727
Uh-huh.
433 1239.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Sure, no problem. Have a great day.
You too. I thought I was on mute. Not on my side. I thought she put me on hold. So I didn't think that I was talking with her. And as a new agent, I would still want my name on it instead of the other woman's name on it.
Hello, this is Dondra.
Hey, this is Mike. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I am calling you about your brand new listing, the one on.
Yes.
I just saw it pop up. I think you just listed this a few hours ago, right?
It actually went live last night, but, late last night.
Cool. Well, I'm a buyer. I'm not an agent, so I just saw this on Redfin for the first time. I'm looking at this property as a possible rental for my portfolio. And so I want to give you a call and just get a better idea of whether this could be a good opportunity for me or not. I'm kind of unfamiliar with this specific neighborhood.
Okay.
So is there an HOA by chance in this neighborhood?
There is an HOA.
And are there any rental restrictions at all?
I'm not positive. I don't know that they allow rentals. I need to check on that for you because I'm not sure. And if that's specifically what you're wanting to purchase it for, then obviously we need to confirm.
Yeah, no, that would be important for me. I can actually look on my end too. So I don't know if you're just doing that as a standard course of practice for your business, but if you do come across that, let me know. Just don't go to the extent to do it just for me.
Okay, yeah, no. I mean, I need to know anyway. I do have the HOA document, so I just need to pull them up and go through that real quick.
Okay, cool. I'm only looking at the pictures here. Have you received any sort of feedback from agents or anyone who's walked the property that might help me better understand the condition of the property?
I mean, I've been to the property. It's in great condition because it's very new. It was built in 2022. I mean, it's in excellent condition.
Okay, cool. So no major mechanical issues, no new HVAC needed or roof issues?
No,
Okay.
nothing like that.
Okay, cool. So if I were to come in with a cash offer on this property, would there be any flexibility at all in the pricing?
Well, I mean, we just went live, so I haven't even had any showings yet because it just went live yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the seller is going to want to get, fair market value. So I'm not sure what kind of discount you typically come in off of market value.
I don't have a set price, but I will tell you it's not the typical, 50% off of asking price like
Mm-hmm.
you've probably received
Mm-hmm.
before. So yeah, generally what I'm looking for is if I can come in with cash, 5, 7 to 8% discount is something that I'll generally start with and see if there's any traction with something like that. So I didn't know if that was a possibility at all.
I, can certainly have a conversation with the seller about it and see how she feels, and then what type of, as far as closing, are you looking to do a really quick closing, or are you flexible with closing dates?
Completely flexible. What would the seller prefer?
Well, she's moving to Texas, I believe mid-May. So that's kind of where she is as far as her timeline.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So what I've done in the past is either postpone closing, do like a 60-day closing, something like that, or even do a lease back of some sort. Where's she moving to? I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm just curious.
She's moving to San Antonio.
Oh,
She's
nice.
military.
Nice. Yeah, it's a big military place in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah, we buy a lot in San Antonio. Okay, cool. So why don't I do this, Dundra? I'm going to send you over. I'll just send you over an offer. We'll see where it goes. I know that you guys are brand new on the market, so I'm not expecting a whole lot other than you guys just kind of seeing what the market shows you. So, but I do want to kind of put my flag in the ground a little bit and see where it goes. And then let's just stay in touch on that. If I can answer any questions for you, feel free to give me a call.
Of course, absolutely. And do you handle rentals in San Antonio?
I do. Yeah, we own lots of rentals in San Antonio.
She would have been, I think, is going to be looking for a rental in San Antonio as well, because she's only going to be there a couple of years, so she didn't want to purchase. So anyway, it might be something on the other side that you can help her with as well.
Yeah, we can help with both. We have I think we have 16 or 17 right now in San Antonio. So I'm sure that something's coming available.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very good. Well, I appreciate you reaching out. I'm going to try to get you an answer in regards to, are you wanting to do long-term lease or short-term? So
naturally, I'm always taking a look at long-term. Short-term is always, it's kind of like the cherry on the sundae, if you will. But we also do some midterm as well. Generally, HOAs are accepting of, a 30-day or more rental situation. That's typically our midterm solution. So I'm just kind of curious about the options.
Okay, very good. I will get you some answers.
Thank you, Dondra. I'm going to text you really quickly. Would you mind just texting me your email address so I could send you over that information?
Sure, I will send it right over.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye. I want to move away from the rental conversation. So I'm going to work on that overnight. But I want to add something else kind of to the mix and see what we possibly can do. The rental conversation allows me to do a couple of different things. It allows me to have a conversation around that, right? Is there an HOA? Are there restrictions? I know that it sounds repetitive here, and it is. I get it. But largely as an acquisition person, what we're saying is repetitive, ideally. And I say ideally because we want to answer the same questions in a similar way, not the same way, but similar way every time, because we do know that if something works, why not continue to move down that road, right? So for me, this path has worked for me, where if I'm having a conversation with an agent and I pitch the idea of me buying it as a rental for me, that allows me and my personality to talk about the HOA, to talk about the rental restrictions. And then if other things do come up, for example, and what I was alluding to here is that, let's say, for example, I am pitching creative finance. So if I'm pitching a sub-2 type of offer and the agent gives me the objection, well, they can't do that because of a VA entitlement issue. This is a VA loan. I want to be able to answer it in a very, very similar way because I know that the way that I've answered it in the past has proven to work. Yeah, I'm going to want to refine that constantly, right, to make sure that it's the best it can be. And that's really what this whole practice here is for. But I'm going to want to answer it in a really, really similar way so that I hope to get the same results that I've received before this time. So a lot of this stuff is repetitive. I'm sorry that it sounds repetitive. There are different issues that do come up, as you guys can see. And at the same time, I do want to offer myself another 1, 2, or 3 intros besides the rental. Because it's honestly a realistic scenario, right? Let's say that I do buy it and I want to keep it. I'm either going to keep it as a rental, short, midterm, long, or I could potentially wrap it, right? Or I'm going to pass it off to someone who's going to do one of those 3 or 4 things. Typically, those people aren't going to live there. It'd be great if they did, actually, because they'd pay me more as a finder's fee, assignment fee, whatever. But yeah, I like being as honest as I possibly can be in these conversations. And if I am asked the question of, well, what are you going to do with it? I might keep it as long-term rental. I might turn it into a group home. I might sell it on refinancing. I might give it to a partner of mine who's going to pay me a fee to take over the opportunity. So I like to be completely transparent with the agents that we work with. Let's send her a cash offer, and then we'll keep going. That's another one, right? And here's the thing. It kind of depends on where you guys are hitting these leads in their listing period, right? These are brand new listings. These are ones that I'm going to want to submit a cash offer on, and then for the most part, and then follow up, especially the ones that I'm seeing right here that have a bigger equity spread. This one was 20 grand. But the other thing too, and I want to make a note of this, is that in this situation, what I'm going to want to do is also pitch the idea, well, shoot, let's help you find some housing here in San Antonio. I'm 90 minutes away from San Antonio. I can help her find a house in San Antonio. So even if we do agree to a lesser price for her current home, I can help her find another house here in San Antonio, which is provide an extra value. So I think that was a really good little tidbit that I got from her. Sellers moving to San Antonio for 2 years. Wants to move in mid-May. Send cash offer. All right, let's keep rolling. We've made like 5 phone calls, and we've been at it for an hour and 3 minutes or so.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach.
Let's try again. Our first double dial of the day.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Let's call for another 20 minutes or so. And then I still have a sick kid. So I gotta go take care of him a little bit.
Hey, you've reached Jeremy out.
call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Let's try again. Got a lot of North Carolina leads today. Why does this say North Carolina, though? This is Texas.
Hi, this is please leave your name and number.
Try her again. The double dial is not going to work today. It just feels like we're kind of in that mode of double dialing not working today. What the heck?
Hi, this is Christopher Shower. I'm sorry I missed your call, but please leave me a message and I'll call you back.
Oops, I didn't do that on purpose. That was my fault. I was trying to save. This is listed as an assumable VA mortgage. So she's going to get hit up from minute one of this listing. Minute one. And people are going to want to sub to it. It's fine.
Hi, you've reached the voice.
So we'll see. Sorry, I was trying to talk over her name here. Low equity. Okay, cool. Anytime a property is listed as assumable VA mortgage, assumable FHA, assumable mortgage, there's going to be a lot of activity on it. So it's a little bit of a different conversation. That's the issue.
Your call.
happening with our data. It's coming in at with the wrong state. What's this one's name? Nikki?
Hi, you've reached Nikki Axon.
Same thing here. Something's going on with our data. It's coming in with the wrong state.
Hi, this is Steve.
So what's really interesting about this guy, and I've seen this a lot too, and I don't know if you guys are noticing it in your outreach at all, but I've called him 1, 2, 3 times. I've texted him. He responded to a text, "Hi, what would you like to know about the listing?" But no call back. So, I'm wondering, how motivated is this agent to actually sell this house? Let me take a look at the listing and see if there's anything that's popping out to me. Seller's offering $1,500 flooring allowance. It's been on the market for how many days here? Where do I see that? Yeah, it's weird. I think what I'm finding strange is that the agent isn't calling anyone back, but rather exchanging text messages with people. Honestly, I don't know if I'm old school. I mean, shoot. I kind of sound like my father when I say this, but I think business is done over the phone. I just do. I think that you have to talk to people. I don't think that you can be texting people. I think that real business is done over the phone. I can negotiate through text. Is it effective? It's sort of like when you're trying to communicate a message over text and you text it, and then it's misinterpreted on the other end of the phone. And it's not misinterpreted because of the words that you use. It's misinterpreted because the communication style or format or whatever isn't able to communicate exactly what you're trying to communicate, right? It's sort of like if you say something sarcastically and then something seriously, it's the same words. It sounds different when you're in person, right? When you're communicating or over the phone. But if you're texting it to somebody, it can be misinterpreted. So get on the phone, talk to people. This business is not done through text. It's just not. You can initiate outreach to people and say, "Hey, give me a call. Let's talk. When's a good time to talk?" You can initiate it that way, but you can't do business
Please
this way.
leave your message.
Man, this person does not pick up their phone. Okay, this guy called me. This guy's a good agent. He called me and texted me yesterday. I wasn't able to pick it up, but let's try to get one more person on the phone. I feel like, oh, that's right. This is one that I have to send an offer on. Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Is now a good time, or
Nope. We did not miss our window, but we are playing epic game of phone tag.
Yeah, it's slow for 3 days and then 4 days of insanity, and I'm like, okay. So today is a good day. I'm glad that you were able to call me.
Tell me about
your.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the insanity. I know that you have a brand new property listed. Is that why it's insane?
Yeah. I knew it would go well just being there in Fort Walton, like right between the bases, but it's got more interest than I had ever expected, and it's one of those the solar is paid for and not part of the headache, and so the power bill is like $30-40 a month, and it's pretty well renovated, corner lot on a cul-de-sac. It's pretty nice. It needs a driveway, but other than that, yeah.
So
I got orders to Korea.
Oh wow, that's going to be kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine. Sorry to interrupt you. I can imagine, given the activity, that you've probably received some offers on the property already, right?
I'll be honest. I've had many questions. The one that I thought was going to send an offer, they have to have it at like the very end of March, and there's no exception. And they literally just found out they're going to be here another month before they get sent to Korea. So now end of April is what they would have to do. So we did everything lined up to do end of March, and now they can't leave. So
got it. What a pain. What a pain. Well, I have a lot more flexibility than that person, so hopefully we can at least continue the conversation.
Understood.
So no formal offers on the table quite yet.
No, not yet. I mean, like I said, it's been a week. I've had 2 other listings live for a while. One's North Crestview, the other is like Milton Pace, and they have just sat forever. And then the Crestview one's got traffic, and then before I even had on like the MLS, I had a showing time where you can make your own appointment and so on and so forth. I had that updated, and I had requests from 2 realtors before I even had it live.
Wow.
After I put it in showing time alone. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a way more contested zip code than I thought. And I'll be honest, we priced it right in the middle of what it should be. The comps are all over the place because, as you know, that whole section is it's either 70s or scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so it's one of those, 3 miles away, you've got a $2 million house or you've got a crack house, and so it's like, all right, well, about this range, there's added value with the panels actually producing and not being a burden each month. And I asked them for I think it's January when they get the refund to see what kind of credit they got back. But it's got a lot of really solid features. Could I ask what your thoughts would be, or what you're looking to use it for?
Yeah, I'm looking to buy it as a rental potentially. So
yeah, it would be almost perfect for it.
Yeah.
Are you a VA associated whatsoever?
No. Why do you ask?
Just because it's a VA loan and they have a really good rate on it, and so it'd be one of those. If you had that kind of access, then you could just transfer and pay the difference and keep I think they have a 4 on it.
Now,
when they bought it from me.
Would they? So I can qualify for a VA loan even though I'm not a veteran. Would they be open to someone like me coming in to qualify for that?
So I have my lending license too. I asked that question because it opens up a different path, and people don't realize 2% is hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest on the back end, you know?
Huge.
And so, yeah, it's so big, it's not even funny. So, in a time like this, part of the, you know, the hey, they already have this mortgage agreement in place. Why shake the foundation if all you got to do is, you know, switch the person holding the note?
Right.
So, when you say you have access to it, can you explain a little bit more?
Well, you know, as you probably know, as a lending professional, anyone can technically qualify for a VA loan assumption. Now, on the back end of it, it changes entitlement issues potentially for the current borrower.
Correct, and that's the only concern I would have in any of it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, I wouldn't push something like that because I would want to see if first of all that was a possibility for the seller. You know, I don't know their situation by any means. I don't know if I don't know if they're going to be in Korea for 2 years, 5 years, or forever. But if they're going to be in forever, then that's a different story.
It's going to be 4 years. I mean, if we could carry it for 3 years and then you just, you know, have a buyout at the end kind of thing.
Right.
You know, at 3 year mark when you're leaving Korea, we'll do the paperwork to free up, you know, the entitlement so you can go buy wherever you need to in year 4.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. That wouldn't be a bad solution either.
That would make your rental numbers way more. Then you would have a higher asset value ratio. You'd have greater cash reserves to make it even easier to do. You know, at the 2 year mark, you know, you can do it whenever you want. It's just, you know, do we have an agreement? And I do this with like commercial businesses literally all the time. That's why the structure and the questions are literally all the same, especially if you're trying to do it as a rental. You know, we think of it as a business purchase instead of a, you know, single family home purchase.
Right, exactly. No, I love the way that you're thinking about this. What, in your experience, what do you think the time frame would be for the approval of assumption? I've found that it's typically longer than desired.
It's all the lender. It's all the lender. Let me ask this. Do you have an investor who has entitlement to it or somebody that you could partner up with?
I'm sure that I could find someone, you know, who would just be basically a loan sponsor effectively and brought on as a partner. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to that at all. I know that that's probably going to speed up the process. It's also going to help the seller in a lot of ways because then it does free up the entitlement immediately.
The only thing that's hitting the flag for me is that the VA says whoever that is, like, it would have to be a mailing address for them for a minimum of 6 months.
As a homestead.
Correct. Well, just as a proof of residency, so that way you're not basically just a rental production machine, you know?
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So the
and
subject
that's
property.
The whole idea.
I see what
that's
you're saying.
The whole idea. They just don't want people to be able to leverage, you know, get too much ahead. Of course, that's the whole issue.
Totally. I get that. That makes perfect sense to me. Okay, cool.
So the owner financing is the way around that, is what I mean. So, or finding somebody who can just assume the entire loan, and that's you know, the water bill and power bill are in their names and included in the rent. There's a million different ways to do it. Like,
now, when you said owner financing, did you mean that basically just wrapping the VA loan with an owner finance note? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, if he needs X amount, and say you have a down payment, I have no idea, just theoretically, of course.
Sure.
So say you have a down payment, say you have 10% that you were trying to put to work. Well, he already has an incredible mortgage rate, is getting ready to go to base housing for 3 to 4 years minimum. So the payment will be, I can't even remember off the top of my head. I'm just going to say, you know, $1,900 or whatever it is. If you don't have to turn that into a $2,200 a month payment to make it a rental, that's $300 more, so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you can put a down payment payment down, and you're just putting, $300 a month right back in your pocket to rebuild for the next time.
Right. Yeah. What we've done in the past sometimes with a situation like this is where we will put into place a new deed of trust, a new promissory note in the name of the seller that mirrors.
And that's all it takes. It's all
financing.
paperwork. That's what is so frustrating is it's all paperwork.
Exactly.
It literally is.
Yeah. It's simple. It's just you gotta put it on paper. Okay, cool, Grady. Well, why don't I do this? I know that there's probably a lot to think about here from my standpoint. So let me put my thoughts together. Let me collect everything on my end, and then I'll reach out to you in a couple days. We'll talk about it again.
Cool. Can you send me your last name real quick when you get a moment?
I'm gonna send you my whole contact information. Okay.
Okay, sounds great, man. I appreciate your time. Let me know what you think, and hey, I'm a text away. I have just straight up, I have 50-50 custody. So 1 week I'm full, wide open, can do literally anything I need, and then for like a 4-day stretch, I do nothing but try and survive at that.
I hear you. I get that. So,
yeah.
Okay, cool, great. Thanks so much for your time. We'll touch base soon. Okay.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Sounds good. Let me know if you need something. Bye.
Okay, I will. Bye-bye. Okay. Just make a couple notes here. All right. I think that's a really good way to finish, actually. Great agent. Really, really cool, knowledgeable. I think that there's a piece of knowledge that might be missing with regard to a creative finance type of a sub-2 specifically. He knows how to move paperwork so that we can do some form of like a mirror wrap. We're mirroring the financing on the VA loan. We could put together a balloon based on the time frame that they have when they do come back. There are a lot of different things that we could do there. And he's open to it. And I like that about him. This is a situation where it looks like they're going to net around $12,000-$13,000. They have a lot of activity on the property. So I don't know how much of a foot I want to put into this quite yet, because I want to see where it goes a little bit. Now, in that situation, I could have talked to him about, instead of assuming, why don't we just do sub-2, what I really wanted to do there intentionally was get him to talk more about it, which I think I did effectively. He kept talking, right? We kept talking about options, and he's knowledgeable to the point where he is able to come up with solutions that are different than 99% of other agents. So he's super cool. Love that guy. I don't know what I'm going to do in that situation. I really have to think about how I want to handle that. I don't necessarily want to do any formal assumption process. I don't want to bring in a veteran who would be a loan sponsor on this. I would rather wait to see what happens. Hopefully he sells it conventionally, because ideally that's great for the seller. I don't know what their plan is when they move back from Korea, but if they plan to purchase, then the loan that they currently have in place is a higher loan balance, which would make it more challenging for them to use their entitlement and buy it with 0% down their next property, at least. So I got to wrap my head around what I want to do with that one, but that was a really good way to finish, I think, today's calling. So guys, thank you. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you guys for watching this. Feel free to like and subscribe and do all those things that all of the kids do on their YouTube channels. My son is in the other room saying, say like and subscribe. So I guess I'm going to do what my 10-year-old says. Thank you. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you guys.